This class is primarily a chair yoga class. We won't be sitting in the chair the whole time, but we will be using the chair. It's a nice sequence for you to use if you have any body limitations that might standing too long might be a challenge for you, or balance in itself might be a challenge for you. But it's also, sometimes it's good to just have a practice that may not be as strenuous, but that actually helps us to open all the areas of our body. So there's many uses for this. So we're gonna come to a comfortable seat and have our feet about hip distance apart, and just let your hands rest on your knees. Let your eyes close if that's comfortable for you, or just let your eyes gaze down at the floor very softly. And then I'm going to suggest that we bring our index finger and our thumb together in a mudra called Jhana Mudra, which allows us to bring our mind, the mental mind of intellect and our consciousness together as one. Sitting up nice and tall in your chair, having that grounded sense of your lower body making contact with the earth through the chair. And then as you take a nice deep breath in, just extending up and out of your spine, and feeling like there's a little cord at the crown of your head that just lightly tugs enough to give you some extension up through the entire spine. Through the practice, reminding yourself to breathe fully. If you find yourself holding your breath, just take a nice deep breath. For now, as we concentrate just a few seconds here on a nice long inhalation and just as long of an exhalation, we're bringing our awareness into our physical form, into our body. And we're committing to an opening through our physicality so that we can relax. And in that way, so much of our life can change when we move through it in a more relaxed state of mind. One of the beautiful benefits for yoga. So bringing your hands in front of your heart, we'll start the class with a sweet Om together. So breathe out, breathe in. Nice full breath, and then on your exhalation, just let your hands come down to either side of the chair. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to just lightly bring the tailbone, so just tucking the tailbone down into the seat of the chair that gives us the ability to bring the lower belly in and up with some determination and some strength, and then the hands are going to be reaching down towards the floor, our fingertips. So let your shoulders move down away from your ears, so with intention, reach the fingertips down towards the floor as if your middle finger could touch the floor. And then sit up nice and tall. And just feel yourself gaining a length in your body. We're creating space in all the vertebrae, between the space between the vertebrae. Bring the right arm up overhead. Keep the left fingertips going down towards the floor, and then really ground that right hip as we get really long to the right side and we crescent over to the left. Continuing to breathe. Keep the muscular energy in this right arm, so bring it up with intention and then bringing it back down. Inhale, bring the left arm up, really reach the fingertips, ground the left hip down, and then start to crescent over to your right side. Again, breathing nice and deep. Inhaling. Keep the breath going, bringing it down. We're going to bring the hands to the knees. We're going to bring the right hand hand to the left. We can do a simple twist by just bringing the left hand to the hip, or you might be able to grab the back of your chair. Get nice and tall first, bring the lower belly in and up, and then start to twist the spine and looking over the left shoulder. Take your eyes all the way around. Give your eye muscles a stretch as well. Breathing nice and deep here. Keep pulling the lower belly in and up to keep the extension. Come back through center and then switching sides. So the left hand's on the outside of the right knee. You might grab the chair, or again, it can be on the hip. Getting nice and long. Shoulders go back towards one another. And then we just twist, take the eyes all the way around, opening up the eye and the muscles there as well. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center. Hands on the knees. So if you don't have any neck issues, if you do, just be very careful. But we're just going to do a simple stretch to one side. So we're going to take it over to the left and drop this right shoulder down. Just creating some space right here. Inhale up. Exhale to the other side. So we drop the left shoulder down, opening up that whole left side of the neck. Beautiful. Come back up to neutral. We're going to take the head over to the left, just to where it's comfortable, just to feel the muscles of the neck opening and breathing nice and deep. On your exhale, coming back to neutral, inhaling, exhaling over to the other side. Continuing to keep the breath nice and clear here. Good. Come back to neutral. I'm going to bring the hands out in front of us and interlace them. So bring your fist or the hands that are clasped out towards the front of you. Then bring the head of the arm bones back. Think about bringing your ears to where you think they might be even over your shoulder. So that's all lined up. Ground down into your seat. Pull the lower belly in and up. And then we're going to just twist the upper part of the body. So not moving the hips over to the left. Try to keep the arms at an even length. Taking a nice deep breath here. Coming back to center, and then on your next exhale, we're going to take it over to the right. Shoulders stay down. We stay focused, looking out over the hands. Beautiful. Inhale, bringing it back, and then inhale up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Nice full breath here. Exhaling, back down to center, and then release the hands. Nice. We're going to open the feet wider than the hips, and we're going to come into, so I'm going to ask you some of the props that you might need for the class. If you've got something you can use for a block, or maybe a strap, like a tie, a belt, or a yoga strap. So we might use the block in front of us here. So remember, we're opening up and warming up the body. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous. So even if you have lower back issues in this forward bend, just make sure to keep the lower belly engaged, or you might want to think of toning the pelvic floor by pulling it up, if that makes sense to you, and keeping the lower belly nice and taut. But we're going to use the hands to support our weight here. So inhaling, we get long, and on each exhale, we're just going to come forward a little bit. So each time you exhale, you're going to ground the hips down, pull the lower belly in and up to make sure the lower back is protected. And you might find a spot where it'll be plenty for you. Steve and I are going to go further, but you're going to find that sweet spot for your own stretch today. So Steve's going to go to that lower part of the block there. I'm going to stay up on the top part of the block. Elbows are bent. And again, now I'm supporting my weight, so I might on the exhale be able to go a little bit deeper. We'd like to get the back to be nice and long out through the lower body and reach out to the crown of the head. And then as we open up and it feels good, we might go a little bit deeper.
Still continuing to pull the lower belly in and up. If that height, you can always change the height or even come down to the floor with the fingertips. And just continuing to make sure that you keep that alignment through the lower body to always, because right here, the lower back is going to be a little vulnerable. Beautiful. Inhale. Bring your left hand to your left knee, and then right hand up, pull in and up, and then come to what would be like a 45-degree angle in your body. Then we're going to push into the knees, and we're going to bring this right shoulder towards that left knee. So hands are going to stay where they are, and we're going to bring the shoulder over towards like in the direction of the foot or the knee, and just feel that opening. So we get a different kind of a twist. Inhale, come back up, and then switching sides, bringing the left shoulder over towards the right side of the body. Breathing. Inhale, come on back up. Pull in and up. Come up to seated. Nice. Opening up the shoulders just a bit more. We're going to bring the left arm out and just bring it across the chest. Use your right hand to kind of bring the elbow of this left arm in, and just feel it opening through the head of the arm bone here and maybe back into the shoulder girdle a bit. If we resist into the right hand, we may find that we're going to get just a little bit more pressure. Breathing. Exhale, release, and switching sides. So remembering to be in a sense of ease with your body as we do our practice. We can push it so that we are feeling the body open up and warm up, but being very mindful of what our body needs today. Not any competition or ego. Beautiful. Exhale, release. I'm going to grab back to the back of the chair. You might want to scoot up on the edge of your chair, and having a chair that's got some weight to it is really nice. Little portable chairs can be a little hard to maneuver, but Steve's going to scoot up on the edge of his chair. We're going to roll the shoulders up, then back. The shoulder blades come towards one another, and then we come forward. So we're opening up the pecs. Now, you could please think about bringing your head back to line up with your spine rather than forward head motion where it's forward. So keeping the spine and the head straight out, keeping the neck straight out from the rest of the spine and the head even. Beautiful. A couple nice deep breaths here. If you did an intense chest workout yesterday, like we may have done, this is really gonna wake you up. Inhale, come on back up. Great. And then stay sideways and grab your block. So we're gonna grab the block. We're gonna put it on the inside of our left foot to start with.
Inside?
Yeah. Then we're gonna take it down. Both of us are gonna take it down to the second level. Good. So we're gonna now bring the left hand to the block. So I've got my tricep elbow right up against the inside of my right leg, and my left leg, and I'm going to use my right hand for leverage to push down into the knee. The left hand is pushing into the block, and I'm going to take the hips back and keep those even, and I'm going to start to twist open, and maybe even look up towards the sky. Breathing. So you're going to feel this in the lower back and the top of the glutes. You might feel it other places as well, but keep breathing into this. Beautiful. Inhale. Pulling into the lower belly. Inhale, come on back up, and then just switch your block to the other side. Now the left hand is on your left knee. The right hand is down on the block. We can resist the right leg and the right arm as we start to twist open in that beautiful discovery of which side is tighter. And just breathing nice and deep into this.
to center. Nice. Yeah, go ahead and turn side back to the front of the camera. So we're going to do some poses to open up the lower body, upper body altogether. So some traditional standing poses, but using the chair today. So we're going to take this right leg and we're going to turn it out. So we're going to be sitting on the edge of the chair so we can turn the right leg out. Now, here's some modifications. If you have hip issues or knee issues, you might be leaving this leg like what I'm showing you right here. Ultimately, if you don't have any issues with hips or knees, we're going to take the knee down. So Steve's showing you that he's going to reach his leg all the way back, which is going to give him more of a stretch in his hip flexors and through the quad. I'm going to leave mine bent, just to show you some variations of it here. So you can take your leg back a little more if you want. Okay, good. We're going to lean in on the right knee with the right elbow. We're going to tuck the tailbone under so that we can bring this left shoulder back and start to look up towards the sky. Now, if you don't have any shoulder issues, you might bring the left arm up back behind you. This might be as high as you can go. If you do have shoulder issues, you can always just leave your hand on your hip or leave it down at your side. Otherwise, we're going to bring it up and over like Steve's doing here. Twisting open. And then, of course, the ever popular breathing. Breathe, babies, breathe. It's one of the big secrets to life. Moving the breath and the prana. Beautiful. Inhaling. Coming all the way up, leaving the legs where they are. We're going to turn towards this front leg, so towards the right leg, and then we're going to bring both hands out towards now in this direction, so towards our right. And we're going to do what we did at the beginning, bring the head of the arm bones back. So we're engaging the arm bones, then we're going to bring the ears back over the shoulders, and then start to bring the arms up overhead. A seated variation of Warrior One. Breathing. Beautiful, keep breathing, good. So exhaling, we're going to bring the hands back down to the front knee. And I am going to show you a variation where I'm going to just bring my left hand to the outside of my right knee, and I'm going to start to twist to look over my shoulder. Steve's going to show you how you can go deeper by actually placing your elbow onto the outside of the leg. Either one. We're working, we're getting that twist, breathing nice and deep. Beautiful. Couple nice deep breaths here. Pull the lower belly in and up to protect your lower back, coming back to neutral with both hands on the front knee. We're going to bring the left hand to the left thigh, so the back of the left thigh. Beautiful. Right arm is going to come up. We're going to do a little reverse warrior here. Breathing. Turn the palm so it's actually facing your head. And then just scoot down to where it's comfortable with that back hand on the quad. Breathing. Stability in the lower part of the pose. Reaching up. Beautiful. We're going to come into Warrior Two. So the fingertips are going to be back. Nice. Exhale, release the hands back to the front knee. We're going to bring the back leg in and start to turn to come to neutral. So we're gonna, chair pose does not mean easy yoga, that's for sure. We're gonna come into our little variation of the seated child's pose. So feet are really firmly planted, hands closing the eyes or soft gaze down, and bringing that sense of ease into your body. Come on back up, we're going to switch sides. So bringing the left leg out, we're going to bring the right leg in. Again, we're going to show you those variations. I'm going to have mine straight down out of the hip. We're going to turn towards the front, and then we're going to slide that left elbow down onto the left knee, right hand towards the hip. Beautiful. You're going to find the modification for yourself.
So the right arm can come back out behind you, up and over, tuck the tailbone, breathing nice and deep here. Inhaling, back up, hands are going to come to the front knee. We're going to bring both hands out in front of us, bring the head of the arm bones back, line the ears up with the shoulders. Really scoop the tailbone, give the tailbone a little scoop, pull the lower belly in and up, and let's just take the arms up overhead. Beautiful. Exhale, back to center and then down. Again, realigning, pulling in and up, keeping the extension as we start to twist. Keeping the breath nice and fluid. And again, realigning the lower belly to keep everything safe and coming up. Beautiful. Coming into warrior two. So option can be just onto your hip, depending on your shoulder, or straight back behind you. Again, breathing, the shoulders move down away from the ears. We find a focus over those front fingertips. And then whether your hand is here or here, we're going to bring the right arm down, left arm up, palm facing towards us. Yeah, nice full breath here. Beautiful. Really feeling the effects of just opening the body with movement and breath. That beautiful marriage between the two. Exhale. Coming back down. Bringing both hands to the earth. Okay, and then we're going to turn towards the front. And then just take a nice little pause here. Always coming into a little child's pose when we need it. So I'm going to ask Steve to turn sideways again. Face away from me. And just show you, in case you've not done this, but just a seated cat-cow. So he's going to bring his hands to his knees, and then he's going to lean forward. And just like we would do if we were on the ground, inhaling and exhaling, find a rhythm for himself and his spine. Beautiful. We're really loosening up the muscles of the thoracic spine and the middle spine, which gets kind of stuck in our life from all the sitting. So this can really help out. This practice can be really good for you if you just sit a lot or need something to do at like a desk chair. Nice. Come on back up to neutral. And then I'm going to ask you to go ahead and turn back around. So we are chair yoga. We're going to use the chair, but we're not necessarily going to stay seated in it the whole time. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and stand up. We'll let the ambulance go by. Hopefully everyone is okay. And the fire truck. So we're going to, Steve and I are going to bless those folks. We're going to turn our chairs towards one another. So we can show you kind of what we're going to do here. Urban Yoga Studio is what that's called. Okay. So we're going to balance. Actually, we're going to turn back towards you folk, and we're both going to, we're going to be on different feet. So how I'm going to cue this is, we're going to be on the foot nearest the chair. So we have this for stability, okay? This is a good way to practice tree pose, no matter if you're doing a yoga chair pose or not. Then bring your other foot can be into your kickstand, which is fine. We have it right there if you're working on balance. Or bringing it up into your shin, or all the way up into the thigh. Again, wherever you're working it. So this support leg pulls up through the arch into the area of the kneecap and quad, and then we have the chair to play with, and we can try taking the hands up to the heart. We still have the chair whenever we need it, right there next to us. And then Steve's gonna follow my instructions with both hands up, and I'm gonna show you how it looks with a little variation. So we're gonna take the hands up overhead,
Bend at the elbows and place the base of the thumb right on your occiput or that area, a little bump in your head, and we're going to do a little back bend. So as we push into the hand, we bring the sternum up, keep the neck clear, we breathe. Using the chair or not. Beautiful. Inhale, we're going to bring it back to neutral, arm up overhead. So now we're going to take the arm that is not near the chair out to the side to be parallel with the floor. Beautiful. Breathing, turning the palm up on your extended arm. Bring the index finger and the thumb together. Really nice. Bringing the hand into the heart and perhaps your other hand to meet it. Just finding a nice drishti for yourself here. Breathing, always breathing deep. And then on your exhalation, release the hands and then release the pose. So to make it even, we're just going to switch sides.
And if you're doing it at home, you would just turn your chair around.
Yeah, you can just turn your chair around. So grounded foot now on the other side, and flipped your chair around. And then just bringing your foot in or up to your shin or into your thigh, wherever you're working. So hand can stay on the chair or come to the heart. Take the time to feel the balance or lack thereof. And just observe it, just notice it. One side might be easier or harder. We're going to take the hands up overhead. Then bending at the elbows, we're going to bring the base of the thumb at the occiput and help that. That's going to help us to kind of lift up the upper torso, bring the sternum up, and maybe even the eyes up towards the sky. Breathing. Exhaling the hands back up to the sky. And we're going to bring the opposite hand out so that whatever knee is bent, bring that arm out. Index finger to thumb. Breathing. Bringing that arm back up overhead and then bringing both hands down in front of the heart. Take a nice deep breath here. And then as needed, exhale, release. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to switch sides again. Just to come back to switch chairs. So next we're going to do a box pose, which is one of the best ways to open up the whole what is called the posterior chain of your body. So posterior just means the back part of you. So it's opening up the whole back part of your body. So just bringing your hands to the chair. So I have some clients who have shoulder issues. So they may actually bring one of their arms here, or you could do a series of blocks depending on your body. And this one could be here if that makes it easier. But we're going to try to get into a 90-degree angle, okay? So figuring out what's good for your shoulders. Steve is grounding down through all four corners of his feet. He's got nice stability through lifting the kneecap, and then he's finding the chair's a little shorter, but he's really close to this 90-degree angle. Beautiful. So he's opening up the whole back part of his body down, hitting the hamstrings down into his feet. And this is an excellent pose when you just need to really feel like you need to stretch the back part of your being. So ground the four corners. Take a couple deep breaths here. Really savor the opening of the body and what it does physically when we bring our awareness into it. Inhale, start to come up. We're going to walk towards the chair, and we're going to bring our right foot in. Release. So we're going to have our right foot in, our back foot, so the left foot is going to be at like a 45-degree angle.
and a little bit shorter than a normal standing pose because we're going to do a variation of Parsvottanasana, which is great to open up the hips and the back of the legs, so the hamstrings. But what we want to do is we want to keep this front leg straight. Lift the kneecap on that front leg. So we're going to come up, we're going to get tall, and we're going to leave this length. Then we've got the chair for support, and we're going to keep tracking the front hip back. So in this case, it's going to be the right hip goes back, left hip forward. So rather than this, we're going to do this and come forward. And that's the tricky part, is keeping that front hip, so your right hip coming down or coming back. Lift the kneecap on that leg, really ground the feet, and feel that opening, breathing nice and deep here. We're getting right into the belly of the hamstring. Good. A couple more deep breaths here. Inhale. Come on back up. And we're simply going to switch sides. So bring the left foot under, back foot at that 45-degree. So squaring the hips right here. So now we're bringing the left hip back. We're going to get nice and tall. And we're going to come forward. Using the chair. Might be right here where you feel that. Keep tracking the left hip back, coming forward. Heart's coming towards the back of the chair. We're trying to keep a nice extension out through the upper body. So not necessarily rounding, but keeping it nice and long, and make sure to keep your mindfulness in keeping that left hip going back. Breathing deep. Push down to the floor. Inhale. Come on back up. Beautiful. Really nice. Great. So I'm going to we're going to come into a version of triangle pose. So we're going to turn the chairs. Yeah. Actually, we're just going to use the same chair. So again, let's bring our right foot in first. Left foot's out now, kind of flat. So depending on your flexibility and your hips, but you'd like to have a nice wide stand to give you enough room to move into the pose. So we're going to bring the arms up. Now the variation would be right here, is just to go ahead and have your hand on the hip, on the chair, but we're going to extend up through the side bodies, keep that length as we then float over the front leg and hit the chair. So again, depending on your flexibility, use the block. You get the same benefits for your body today. Breathing nice and deep. Another nice full breath here. Good. Inhale, come up. Keep a hold of the chair or not. And then we're going to switch sides. So reaching the arms up, side bodies long, and then coming up and over. Find a triangle for yourself. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. We engage the kneecap on that front leg. We breathe into it and enjoy the pose as we move into it. Good. One more deep breath here. Inhale, coming up. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. Don't fall over and come on. Beautiful. Okay. Hands to heart. Set your eyes closed for a moment. Your chair is there if you need to hold on to it. Just feel the beauty of clear breath, if that's possible for you. Or whatever a full breath is to you at this part of your life, this time of your life. But the ability to breathe in and out. And focusing on what your body can do. Using the chair out of necessity or just out of the need today to be doing something maybe just a little less strenuous. Whatever it might be, just having
taking gratitude for where your body is. On your exhale, go ahead and release your hands. So I'm going to show you a variation of a down dog using the chair. I'm going to be Steve's wall. If we were home by ourselves, I would have just put the chair up against a wall so it's stable. But for the fact that I want to talk to you while we're doing this, we're going to do it a little bit different. So Steve is going to just, I'm going to talk you through it this way. So step back a little bit. Inhale, we're going to take the arms up overhead. Exhale, just bringing them down. Inhale, up. So we're just doing some breathing arms. Exhale, down. So inhale, up. I'm going to ask him to bend his knees so he can bring his hands down, coming forward, and then find the chair. That might be too far for you. It's okay. Bring the hands to the chair, and then start to straighten the legs to where they're comfortable. He's going to melt the heart and take his head back towards his knees, finding a V shape. So he might move his hands up the chair, and then start to just find that spot for himself. Now, again, we might have this up against the wall, but we're really stretching out a lot of the body in this pose. On your next exhale, he's going to bend his knees slightly and start to walk in towards the chair. Knees stay bent as he brings his hands, if possible, to his heart center, and then inhale. Or he'll come up with his hands on his hips. Whatever's more convenient. So let's go ahead and just bring the chair back. And let's sit down. Okay, so go ahead and we're gonna open the hips a bit. So we're gonna do some variations with this as well. So if you have, we're gonna do seated pigeon pose. So Steve's gonna show you the whole thing. We're gonna bring the left leg up to here. So tight hips, maybe older hip replacements, so you've got some issues. There are things here. For some of us, that can be an opening. Others, we might come up further, or we might just be using the strap to actually get the leg up, okay? So we can see that Steve is starting to bring the shin directly across, and then just using his left hand to maybe just give him a little bit of weight here. Then, if we need a little bit more, no matter if we're using the strap or just coming up like this, we sit up nice and tall. That intensifies the stretch. And then with each exhale, we might come forward just a bit. Breathing nice and deep. Just taking the time to let the hip open. In this moment, just let yourself feel that you have all the time in the world. Very calming thought, even if it's not necessarily the reality. But to just tell ourselves we have all the time in the world. Inhale, coming up, being gentle with yourself, turning the knee, the leg in the socket, and bringing it back out. We're going to switch sides. So again, use that strap to wherever you can work it. If we're up here, we're going to really have the foot as if standing, and then reaching out the leg bone out right out to the knee. Get nice and tall, and then coming towards that front shin. Bringing your focus into the area where you're feeling the most sensation and breathing into it. Telling your body that it's a good thing.
chatter of the mind go as much as possible. And we bring into focus a different kind of relationship with our body. Inhaling, come on back up. I'm going to ask you to grab your strap. We're going to bring the strap around our left foot. Do a couple things here with it. So inhale, just bring the foot up. We're going to ground that right foot down. Just lifting, and then resist the foot into the strap to feel the engagement of the leg muscles, and you might even feel that in the hip. Go ahead and grab the strap with your left hand, and then we're going to bring the leg out. Get nice and tall. On your exhalation, we're going to take that leg out to the side, and we're going to reach out with the right arm. Again, paying attention to your body and what you might need. And maybe even taking the head towards the right hand. Right hand to the hip, bringing the left leg in. Activate the leg muscles and see if you can lose the grip on the strap a little bit to hold the leg out, and then slowly lower it down. Beautiful. And we're going to switch sides. So switching the strap over to your right foot, we're going to bring the knee up. Activate the muscles first, and then start to push into the strap. And you might need to go down further, or you might need to be back further. Breathing in, exhale, releasing the right foot over to the right. We'll take the left arm out, and then the hand towards the head towards the left hand. Breathing. Exhale the left hand to the hip, bring the right hand in, and exhale down. Beautiful. Good. So we're going to need this in just a second. Go ahead and bring that down. Bring your hands to the chair. Again, you can always put your chair up against a wall to make this just a little bit safer, but we're going to scoot to the edge of our seat. And we're going to point the toes down towards the floor and bring the heart forward. So we're opening the chest. We're really concentrating too on lifting the kneecaps, so engaging the legs. This might be as far as we go. Some of us might start to lean back a little bit more to give us that full body stretch towards the front of the body. And there's probably going to be a few people who need a little bit more, and you might even start to lift up off of the chair. Again, just finding the place for yourself where this works. Exhaling, release down, and then bring the feet in. Beautiful. Just take a little pause. So bringing the elbows to the knee. Perhaps just acknowledging a little clarity or a little opening in your own energy, or not. Beautiful. Inhale. Come on back up. So we're going to have some modifications on a seated boat pose. So we're going to do some variations. The first one's going to be, we're going to be pretty much up on the front of the chair. We're going to interlace our fingers and bring them around our right knee. So we're going to push into the floor with the left foot. The right foot is going to be as if it's standing, so there's a lot of, and then we're going to lift the knee up off the floor, pull in. So that same motion, we're going to lean towards the back of the chair, but hopefully not lean on it. Bring the heart forward, and encourage the core muscles to engage. So we're pulling the lower belly in and up, breathing nice and deep. So on now, maybe we'll try to release the hands and lift the knee. We might actually find ourselves holding onto the chair or the bottom of the chair and then start to straighten the front leg. Exhaling down to the floor. Beautiful. We're going to bring our hands around the opposite knee. So on the left, again, foot is active. Bring the shoulders back, heart forward. Start to lean back into the pose, really engaging the core muscles. So not just using the arms, because then we're going to release the arms down. So we're using those core muscles, and your leg might straighten to some degree, it may not. Breathing. Beautiful. Exhale, releasing down. Just take a little pause. We're going to do one more piece to that little sequence. So, some options. Come up on your tiptoes. Bring your hands in. Pull the sternum forward and up towards the sky. This is great. You can already feel your core muscles pull in and up. Those of you who might want a little bit more are going to kind of bounce up. But you're going to eventually get off of the back of the chair. But maybe to start with, you will be on the back of the chair. Pull the lower belly in and up. Yeah, it's not easy. This is challenging. And then pulling in and up, bringing the chest forward rather than the back rounding. Beautiful. Spreading the toes. Finding this beautiful boat pose. On your exhalation, start to release down. Again, you could just stay up on the tiptoes and pull forward. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Excellent. Good. So we're going to grab the strap. Going to bring it around both the ball of both feet. Okay, so now we get a little balance. So we're going to wrap it around our hands, pull the lower belly in and up. Give yourself enough room away from the back of the chair, hopefully, or use the back of the chair. And we're going to try to do a boat pose with the straps, pulling in and up. Breathing. Good. Knees can be bent or straight. And then on your exhalation, release down. Beautiful.
That is not easy.
Chair yoga is not easy. It's just a nice option. We're going to come back to our regular position. The beauty of the practice of yoga is there is something for all of us, no matter where we are in our body. And then bringing yourself into our body then helps us to bring our awareness into all the different elements of who we are. Nice. So we're going to revisit a couple things and see how we're feeling. So we're going to bring our right hand to the outside of our left knee. Going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to twist. Breathing. Now, you might notice that you're more open, and if so, you might turn to your hand to the out, to open your hand up and start to slide down. So we're keeping both knees even, and we're doing a little twist here. Now this might be plenty, but some of us might then come into prayer position for the twist, keeping the hips even. So maybe you might be feeling it in those muscles, but we're also pulling into the lower belly to keep everything safe. Beautiful. Inhale, pull in and up to come out safely, and then unwind. Beautiful. Take a breath, and then we'll switch sides. So left hand to the outside of the right. Get nice and tall first. Create some space to move into, just like in life. We move into the empty space. So create space, twist into it. And one side might be different than the other, but you might start to slide down the outside of your right leg. That might be enough, or you might come into prayer position, listening to your body. Big benefit and lesson in yoga is listening to our body. What do we need in this moment? Nice breath. Beautiful inhale. Coming back up. Pulling the lower belly in and up. We're going to just do a little bit of, I'm just going to stay seated in this position. But again, find that cat-cow for yourself. So it might be that you breathe in on the cow and exhaling on the cat. Using the breath, finding freedom, liberation in your own being. Come back to neutral. And bring the hands back out in front of us. Interlace the fingers. Bring the head of the arm bones back. Bring the chin back, and then we're going to go over to the left. It might be a little easier now to keep the hips stable and get a little bit more of a twist than we did earlier. Coming back to center and then to the other side. Again, breathing deep. Inhale, come back to center. One thing, we're going to come grab the back of the chair again, ground the feet. Knees straight out from the hips. Bring the heart, sternum forward, and then coming. Your arms might be straight, they may not, it's okay. Just feeling that opening, but keeping the ears back over the shoulders, so there's no strain in the neck. Beautiful. Inhale. Come on back up. Grab your block. Now, since we're more open, you may or may not use the block. I'm going to use the block Steve won't. Okay, so we're going to bring the left hand, I'm going to bring it down to the block. Right hand is on that knee, and I'm going to twist. I'm going to resist my left leg into my left arm, and I'm going to twist open. Again, then, depending on your shoulder, you might be able to bring your right arm up to the sky.
Nope.
Just twisting it open. Good. Now bending at the elbow and bringing the back of your hand to your sacrum area and twisting again. Nice deep breath here. Beautiful. Release that hand back to the knee, and we're going to switch sides. So we're going to bring the right hand down to the block of the floor. Going to push into the left hand, twisting open first. And maybe this left arm will come up to the sky. Maybe it'll just come to your hip. But we're finding extension up. The shoulder blades come back towards one another. Leg and arm on the right side are resisting each other. We're breathing in, breathing nice and deep. Beautiful. Exhale the hand down if it's up. Coming back to neutral. And then I'm going to ask you, can you use your block? Oh, here it is. Here's one. Okay. So we're going to do one more balancing pose. We kind of opened the body through the practice for this. So using blocks or not, how many blocks do you have?
Just one.
Okay, just go ahead and grab that one and take it down flat. So we're going to do a seated Bakasana. So this is where we would normally have all of our weight towards the front of the body and lift our feet. So in chair pose, what we're going to do with this is we're going to lean forward. So Steve's going to do a little bit more of a intermediate to advanced version of this. We're both pushing our body weight down. Now, you might just push down into this. The shoulders are engaged back, and you just think about bringing your lower body off the chair. Pull the lower belly in and up. Lean forward, maybe scoot to the edge of your chair, breathing in nice and deep. That might be enough. Some of you might actually bring your bottom up off of the chair and lean forward, breathing. Again, you don't have to lift off of the chair. We can get some upper body strength and balance here, pulling in and up. Beautiful. On your exhalation, we're going to come back down to the chair for off. And then inhale, come on back up. So this is a little bit of an intermediate chair
So we're going to come towards the end of our practice here. So we want to do just a little bit of a cool down. So just rolling the shoulders forward and then back. Deepening the breath. Bringing your left arm across. Again, just feeling that opening a little bit. Instead of really warming up the body, we're cooling it down a bit and then just switching sides. Right hand to right hip. Right hand to right hip. We're going to bring the left arm up and we're going to crescent over. Inhaling up, hand down the hip, other arm up and over. Beautiful. Inhale back up, hands to your knees. So we have a couple things you can do for Shavasana. You can sit back in the chair, but still be elongated, so you have a little bit of support. You can take a blanket and put it behind your back. You can lay back like Steve is, as long as you feel like your neck is supported. Or for those of you who don't have any problem getting to the floor. But just find a place where for the next couple minutes, you can close your eyes and feel relaxed. So breathing deep. Allowing your focus to be on your breath. Allowing it to be deep and even. Having that gratitude for what your body can do in these moments at this time of your life. Having the respect for your own life force that moves through you in such a beautiful way. You're expressing your individual energy, and the world would not be the same without you. Thank yourself for taking the time for your practice today. Allowing yourself to shift your energy, perhaps. And through our practices, we learn to open our heart to all that is, to all the possibilities of life. Letting go a little bit more each time we practice of our need to control or understand before we do something, and just learning the beauty and the gift of surrender. The mystery of your life and the surrender into it are such great joys when we learn how to do it. Just a couple more deep breaths to allow your practice to move through your being. And if you're lying back in your chair, start to sit up a little straighter. If you're lying on the floor, which is fine, just start to move your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll your ankles, rolling your wrist. And let's bring our hands in front of our heart. We'll join our voices in one sweet Om.